We're not seeing a picture here, so we're not sure. Are we on the air?
You are.
Okay, because we can't see ourselves. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. We are here this morning, Tuesday, March 18th, for an Administrative Matters meeting, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome, everyone. I'm Kristen Stevens, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. As I said, this is the Administrative Matters meeting. I call this meeting to order. With me is my colleague, Commissioner Jody Shattuck McNally, and Commissioner Kafalis is away this week. On my right on the dais, we have Lindsay Jones from the clerk's office. We have, with Lindsay, we have Diane Cheney from the clerk's office as well. We have our county manager, Lorinda Volker. From Public Affairs, we have Tom Clayton, and from our office, we have Sarah Martin. So welcome everyone who's here. We will begin with public comment. I don't believe we have anybody for public comment because we have no one signed up, but is there anyone in the audience who would like to give public comment? All right, seeing no hands raised. Sarah, was there anyone on the phone who wanted to give public comment?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, then we will close public comment and remind folks that they can come back next week to give public comment at 9 a.m. at this same meeting. You can also send us an email or give us a phone call if you'd like to talk. So we will move on to our next agenda item, which is approval of the minutes, and I'll ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally to make that motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve the minutes of the week of March 10th, 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner. There's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. And we will move on to the upcoming schedule review. Sarah.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for March 24th through the 29th. On Monday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Mighty Arrow Poudre River Fund Stakeholder Feedback Session, Municipal and Water Utilities Focus Group at New Belgium Brewing Company at 500 Linden Street in Fort Collins. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioners may participate in the virtual Colorado Communities for Climate Action and Congressional District 8 Representatives meeting. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioners Stevens and Shattuck McNally may attend the Mighty Arrow Poudre River Fund Stakeholder Feedback Session, Funders and Donors at New Belgium Brewing Company at 500 Linden Street in Fort Collins. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources in the Commissioners' Conference Room on the second floor. From 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., there will be land use items with the Development Review Team. It's a hybrid meeting in person. It will be in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. From 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m., there will be land use items with the Development Review Team. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. On Tuesday, March 25th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m., there will be a legislative direction to county staff in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be administrative direction to county management in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. On Wednesday, March 26th, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the North Fort Collins Business Association at the Rocky Mountain Innisphere at 320 East Vine Drive in Fort Collins. From 7:45 a.m. to 9 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Fort Collins, Larimer County Poudre School District Liaisons meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioners may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Governing Board meeting. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., there will be a Commissioners' casual conversation in the Commissioners' Conference Room on the second floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., there will be a work session regarding carryover funds from 2024 into 2025 in the Commissioners' Conference Room on the second floor. From 4:30 p.m. to 4:45 p.m., Commissioners will participate in the virtual Flood Review Board interview discussion via Zoom. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the Poudre River Conference Room at the Larimer County Loveland campus at 200 Peridot Avenue in Loveland, or virtually via Zoom. From 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fair Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the McKee 4-H Youth and Community Building at 2580 Arena Circle in Loveland, or virtually via Zoom. On Thursday, March 27th, from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Public Health/Human Services and Transportation Committee meeting. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalos will host the Red Feather Lakes Community Conversation at Red Feather Lakes Community Association at 58 Firehouse Lane in Red Feather Lakes. From 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Northern Colorado Fireshed Collaborative meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the Boulder Public Library District at 1001 Arapahoe Avenue in Boulder, or virtually via Zoom. From 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Regional Opioid Abatement meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 2260 West Trilby Road in Fort Collins, or virtually via Zoom. From 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual non-attainment area Air Pollution Mitigating Enterprise meeting. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Board meeting. From 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Open Lands Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the Horsetooth Area Information Center at 4200 West County Road 38E in Fort Collins, or virtually via Zoom. From 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalos may attend the Project Self-Sufficiency Bring the Power Social at Embassy Suites at 4705 Clydesdale Parkway in Loveland. On Friday, March 28th, from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual State Human Services Trails Executive Steering Committee meeting. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Middle Income Housing Authority Board meeting. From 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Natural Resources/Wildfire and Fiscal Reform Committee meeting. And on Saturday, March 29th, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Kafalos may attend the Realities for Children Gala at the Embassy Suites Loveland at 4705 Clydesdale Parkway in Loveland.
Thank you, Sarah. Commissioner Shattuck McNally, any corrections?
Just some additions, Madam Chair. Sarah and team, as always, we appreciate all that you guys do to wrangle our schedule. Friday, March 28th, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen, but it's a hold right now, but I wanted to put on that I'm attending the Youth Mental Health Task Force meeting on Friday, March 28th from 11 to probably 11:30 when I have to jump on to chair the Wildfire Committee, and then I'll go back to the Youth Task Force after that, and that's all virtual. And then also, I'm also attending the Realities for Children Gala, so I forgot to put that on my calendar, so if you can add that to me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't have any additions. Thank you, Sarah. So we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is our consent agenda. I'll run through the items on the consent agenda and see if we want to pull anything off the consent agenda. So our first items are agreements. There are 4 agreements, and the first item is a Bureau of Justice Assistance Fiscal Year 24 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, or JAG program. And that is for a program that targets mid to upper level drug trafficking organizations in Larimer County and those trafficking illegal drugs into our community. We know that's been a big problem with opioids, heroin, and other drugs, methamphetamines. And so this will these dollars will go to address that. The term for those dollars is through September 30th of 2027, and the total dollar amount is $50,489. We have next an amended and restated grant agreement. This is for the expansion of the availability and quality of career and technical education programming, and that runs through December 31st of 2026. That's with Thompson School District R2J, and the total dollar amount is $1 million. We have an Amendment 2 to American Rescue Plan Collaborative Projects Grant Sub-Award. This is a request to extend the terms of this grant from which was to run through December 31st of 2025, to now run through December 31st of 2027. The county awarded $1.5 million to Matthews House for operating the youth shelter and drop-in center. The next agreement is an agreement for Linda Vista subdivision. This is a requesting approval of a development agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and Linda Ann Weichselman. The development is for a one-lot subdivision with an area of 34.78 acres and removes a minor land division restriction. We have 5 appointments on the consent agenda. A previous appointment to the Board of Health for Brian Del Grosso, and that term will end June 30th, 2029. We have a recommended reappointment to the Poudre Library's Board of Trustees for Rick Rivera. His term will now end March 31st, 2029. A recommended reappointment to the Grasslands Public Improvement District for Terry Engelhart, whose term will end November 30th, 2028. A midterm appointment to the Community Corrections Advisory Board for Cedric Clark. His term will end June 30th, 2025. And a reappointment to the Terry Shores Public Improvement District for Wayne Latham. And Wayne's term will end on November 30th, 2028. We have 2 deeds. The first one is a dedication of right-of-way for Loveland Ready Mix Concrete Incorporated, for improvements to County Road 1 and County Road 18. And we have another one for Loveland Ready Mix Concrete for those same roads. We have 5 liquor licenses this morning. We have a renewal for 7 Keys Lodge, and that is a hotel and restaurant license. We have a renewal for Mini Mart Loaf and Jug in Fort Collins, and that is a fermented malt beverage and wine. Excuse me, renewal. We have a 3rd liquor license renewal for Mini Mart Loaf and Jug in Bellevue, Colorado for fermented malt beverage and wine. We have one for Mini Mart Loaf and Jug in Fort Collins for fermented malt beverage and wine, and one for the Fort Collins Country Club for a hotel and restaurant with optional premise license. We have 2 miscellaneous items. The first one is for the Agricultural Advisory Board. It's an update to their bylaws. And then we have one for Larimer County legislative positions. The Board of County Commissioners takes positions on legislative items that are coming before the state legislature, and those can be found on our website and on the Secretary of State's website. And finally, we have 2 resolutions. We have a resolution dissolving the LaPorte Area Planning Advisory Committee. So this board was created in 1980, but during the review of the LaPorte Area Planning Advisory Committee, it was determined that there's alternative and more effective ways to engage the community better than the LaPorte Area Planning Advisory Committee. And so it makes sense for us to discontinue this advisory committee. And so we thank all the people who have served on this committee, but we will find other ways for you to engage in your community that will prove more effective. The second resolution is for dissolving the Red Feather Lakes Planning Advisory Committee. This committee was actually established a little later in 2006 to meet an identified need in the community and help facilitate communication with the county. We feel there's a more efficient way for people in that community to engage with the county. And so we will pursue those forms of engagement, but for now we will be dissolving this committee as well. And thank you for all the people who have served on this committee. So those are the items on the consent agenda. Commissioner, do you want to remove anything from the consent agenda? I do not want to remove anything either. So I will ask you to make a motion for this item.
Certainly, Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda for March 18th, 2025. And Madam Chair, if I might make an extra comment.
Yes.
I just want to also join you in thanking all the folks who have given of their time, talent, and treasures to serve on the both planning advisory committees. They've been around for a long time, and a lot of work and discussion and community engagement and community representation was given, and there's a lot of great things that were accomplished, and I want to just recognize that and thank them all for all the people that have served, and thank them for their service as well. So thank you for that, Madam Chair.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, and as I said, these boards did provide great service to Larimer County when we needed that, and we fully intend to engage with the communities, just not in this way. Sometimes it's hard to find people to serve on a board, to serve out their term, to get a quorum, to make decisions, and so there will be a more informal but equally as valid way for them to participate in the future. So. All right, with that, there's a motion on the table. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion passes 2-0. We will move on to discussion items, of which we have none. This is going to be a quick meeting here, and we will move to our county manager update.
Thank you, Commissioners. This will also be short. I did some external coordination last week with Poudre School District Superintendent and the Johnstown Town Manager. It's always great to talk to other organizations and to make sure that we're all aware of what's going on and how we're working together. I also attended the Community Justice Advisory Board, a monthly meeting. And one of the projects they're working on right now that I think may be of public interest is a series of videos on the booking process. Their goal is to try to demystify that process so that people who are involved have a quick 2 or 3 minute little snippet they can go look at each part of the process so that there's greater understanding around that. Those should be available on the county's website in the coming weeks as they finalize those projects. They did use a videographer from a student from Poudre School District to do the filming, so they got really creative in how they might engage the community just to create the videos. So kudos to that group for doing that work. And then internally, we had our department head meeting and our strategic leadership committee meetings last week. Both of those are slightly different groups, but with different purposes, but had great meetings. The strategic leadership committee is made up of the service area directors and the elected offices, so they'll send a representative to that meeting as well. And we did our version of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges exercise that each of the service areas will do in the coming weeks as part of our budget process. So I wanted to thank them for their time. That was an interesting hour. I think no surprises came out of it, but just to brainstorm the kind of things the county's proud of doing, the things that we can do better at, the things that we see coming at us from the outside. It was a great exercise for us to go through collectively as a group. And then I wanted to thank Lori Hodges and her team for doing a presentation on lessons learned in emergency management. They were deployed twice this year and learned a lot of lessons from other communities, both things to do and things that we're proud that we don't do. And so it's always good to get out and exercise the skills that you have using other organizations and learn from them as well. So thank you to Lori and to that team and to everyone in the department head group who really did participate in what we can do going forward with our emergency management program.
Thank you, Lorinda. Any questions for Lorinda? All right. Thanks for your report and all the work that you do. We appreciate it. We will move on to commissioner reports. Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And as always, Lorinda, thanks for all that you do in so many ways for our staff and just building bridges and connections with our other staff from other municipalities and directors and things. It's so important that we're communicating, especially at this time, and so I really appreciate that. I'll be just highlight a few things that I'd like to share. I attended the Big Thompson Watershed Health Partnership meeting after meeting with the fire chief of Loveland, and it's really important group. They're doing some strategic planning and looking at their strengths and weaknesses as well right now, trying to look at how they work together and make efficiencies. It's a big group that has the U.S. Forest Service, the State Forest Service, Larimer County, all kinds of folks, the Big Thompson Watershed Watershed Coalition, Peaks People, lots of people who are engaged. And I think Estes Park Watershed comes as well. And I engaged a little bit with their Josh Roberts from our OEM is very involved with this group, and they've been working with us on the Gateway to the Rockies grant, which they applied for, which will be another step two. We have the big wildfires events grant that we believe is moving forward up in the Red Feathered area. This one would be to the that big Thompson watershed area, which is really critical watershed. Again, we have, if you think about it, we have the headwaters of the Big Thompson and the Poudre River and the Colorado River and Larimer County right up there in Rock National Park. So it's really important to protect these watersheds and do the work together. I showed them how I think that they need to also, they were looking at all of the things we do, and I added through OEM's very strong there with wildfire mitigation, but I talked about the county in general being fiscal agent and an advocacy group with legislation, and also the sheriff's department, as we have our deputy here who does a lot of mitigation work, but also responds to wildfires as they did yesterday. And I just wanted to share that I've been trying to engage them and make sure that, county people realize maybe county is not always in front and loud and proud, but we're very involved with a lot of community efforts. So I wanted to share that. We had our CCAT. Well, first we met with some passenger rail updates, and I think I had that meeting with you, Commissioner Stevens, where we talked about passenger rail and the kind of the updates and some of the data that was going to come out here soon, showing how this is penciling out some of the data and numbers and stuff. So that was exciting to have. And then we had was trying to get ready to testify on the risk modeling use legislation, which is something that I've been talking with the insurance commissioner and other commissioners and Senator Cutter from Jefferson County on how we work on legislation to help bring down homeowners insurance in wildfire and WUI areas, and also make sure we do things to help people don't lose their insurance in certain risk areas, and that's very important. And then we had our CCAT hybrid all meeting all at the same time, along with our Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners working together, talking about accessory drilling units. And I mentioned all of that because I wanted to highlight for people, when we have meetings, sometimes we don't always talk about all the meetings, but there's a lot going on right now between the state legislature and testifying on bills and working with our associations who are helping us look at some impacts from certain legislation, and also just doing our planning commission, having those discussions. So we may not always be on the front page of the paper and stuff, but there's a lot happening right now, and I wanted to kind of let the folks know about some of that work. On Thursday, I went to the Front Range Community College Breakfast of Opportunity, and thank President Simpson and Barrow for the invitation. It was a very exciting breakfast to see folks come together and celebrate some of the stories of students. And then I raced over to the Colorado State Forest Service Nursery. I'm being a member of the Forest Health Council. This is a bill that we supported very strongly to get two different buckets of money from the state legislature to build. So it's $10 million total for this long-term focus on getting this nursery. It was kind of raised, most of it raised down to the ground, and it'll be state-of-the-art, and we'll do things to help weeds and bugs not get into growing these very important seedlings and storing seeds. This will be the epicenter of the region for reforestation and recovery for wildfire. I don't know if people know it's so important to have really high quality seedlings. This is what we need to reforest our burn areas and our watersheds. And it's really important that they are very viable. And there also is still a very large millions of seeds deficit for growing seeds to grow these seedlings, and this will be a really important piece of solving some of those challenges. And so I'm very excited to be there to do the groundbreaking. I testified and worked hard to try to get that bill to get passed, and it's really important work, and I'm really grateful to see that progress. And it will be exciting to see the state of the way the growing trees and how we can take some of the hand labor of having to weed it, because it'll keep the weeds from coming in, because a lot of times they were doing work outside under just awnings, and now this will enclose it, which will take a lot out of the process. And then we had our Women's Give luncheon. I'm a proud Women Give member that I host a table every year, and there was over 1,000 women who joined to celebrate fundraising for bringing scholarships and child care assistance for women single moms who are looking to become stronger, more, well, they're very strong women, but to be more self-sufficient and be able to put their children in quality daycare while they're doing their advanced degrees or getting degrees. Lots of story sharing of folks who have been proud recipients and graduates of this program, and that was very, very exciting to hear from all of them. I want to big shout out to the CSU Rams women's volleyball team. I think it's the Green and Gold Brigade, I think, but they all came and sponsored a table. And one of them spoke about her mom and her mom being a single mom and helping take care of her. And that was a really powerful story. It was a busy day on Thursday because then I went to the Go Great Outdoors Colorado Community Dinner. We went with the board of Great Doors Out Colorado. For folks maybe not aware of that, that's where your lottery ticket, a lot of your lottery ticket dollars go to help provide funds for grants and programs to get people outside, and we're proud of our partnership with them. They funded a lot of. We got the Centennial Grant. We were highlighted again with that. That's like a once in a lifetime big wow legacy project. There was 10 that got that year. They don't do that all the time. Larimer County was a proud recipient of that. That money was given to us as a grant, as a purchase of Canyon Ed open space. And there was a lot of things to celebrate there. One thing I wanted to highlight there, Commissioner Stevens, is I forget they have the Generation Wild. They actually give scholarships to get youth outside and learning more about the outdoors. And a lot of the board members were very glad to talk about that with me, and I thought that was important to share. That's some things we always forget about, all the resources and opportunities to do. And then we had our CCI meetings all day on Friday, and I attended some of the natural resources ones, and I just wanted to share that it was really a busy weekend for me, but I'll just talk about how proud I am on Monday yesterday, because I did talk to some of my friends and neighbors who were evacuated with the brush fire yesterday, and they just sang the praises of our emergency services and our sheriff deputies who raced into harm's way to help them evacuate and get out. And everyone, I'm very saddened and send my thoughts to the families that have lost their home. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the deputies and the firefighters and all the people that came together to contain that so quickly with a Red Flag Day. And that's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll just mention a few things that I did last week. On Wednesday, I had the joint allocation group. That's where the child care advisory group meets, the group that I'm with, the Works Allocation Committee, and the CWAC, which is the Child Welfare Committee. And so really talking about some of the potential cuts to these programs through the state having budget issues and federal issues as well. So definitely concerns about people who are the most vulnerable people in our community seeing cuts to the programs that they rely on for basic needs in our community. So, as you know, when people ask some of the work that we're doing, I mean, some of the work we're doing is really to try to preserve these dollars and to help as many vulnerable people in our community as we possibly can. These people, we have tens of thousands of people that receive these services every month. And so we are working diligently to try to make sure we preserve these services for people. And then I also testified on the transportation mode choice bill. So this is a bill that would require communities and metropolitan planning organizations to take a look at their multimodal transportation and see where they have gaps in their multimodal transportation and their transit. So this is a great bill. As we look to start spending money in these areas, we really need to identify where there are gaps. And so this bill requires that planning to be done, and then we can know where we need to fill in dollars for those gaps. So really important bill that's coming through the legislature. We also met with the Planning Commission. I think we did some really good work with the Planning Commission on Wednesday night, And on Thursday, met with the Downtown Development Authority. We saw a presentation by the folks who bought the old bank building on Magnolia. So it's the Wells Fargo building, which is a mid-century modern building. Many people who've gone to bank there know that it's got this really big lobby and it's big chandeliers and kind of big open lighting. So they are looking to potentially do some historic restoration and really, bring that building back to the standards that it was in the 60s when it was built, and possibly have some housing on that site as well. So there's some great possibilities there for that building. I also wanted to mention that I attended the ribbon cutting for both the water treatment and the wastewater reclamation facility for Wellington. So congratulations to the town of Wellington for opening these really important water facilities. You can't create a community, especially in northern Colorado, where we can have some water issues and water scarcity, without having these kind of big infrastructure projects in place. And so this was a really big moment for Wellington going forward, to be able to grow their community, to make sure their community thrives, that they have healthy water, that they have a healthy wastewater treatment plant. And so it was really great to be there to celebrate with them. And then just some meetings on legislative items with the CCI board, and looking forward to seeing what legislation comes forward as we sift through hundreds and hundreds of bills for this session. So that is it for me. And as I said, we have a short agenda, and that is our last agenda item. So with that, I think we may be one of the shortest meetings we've ever had. It is 9:31 and we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.